quite simply Mr. Gordon here, live from the river path. We're gonna go visit Pastor Tom, and we might just buy ourselves a fish. Quite simply, there's other cute little ducks. There's at least 4 of them, as you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and cute baby chicks. Quite simply Mr. Gordon here. We've just crossed the bend. We've almost made it to the fancy bridge, and we're going to buy a fish with Pastor Tom. Alright, if you look here, that's a giant bundle of sticks, and that's a boat. And this is the giant tree. It's a really big tree. It's just one giant tree. Alright, Mr. Gordon here. Everybody, this quite simply is called the colour green. And in Bangkok we don't really know what this colour is. So for those of you who've never seen it before, this is actually the colour green. It's a magical colour. It's been known to be equated to fairy tales and myths because we've never seen it before. Alright, quite simply, you can see there's some chickens right here in the path. Alright, and there's a motorcycle about to run me over, so I should probably end the video. Alright, Mr. Gordon here. We got ourselves walking towards the left past Mordor. It's the magical land on the right. And maybe it's not Mordor, I think it's actually called the Enchanted Forest of Narnia. And this is the scary tree that lost its leaves. Alright, Mr. Gordon here, live from the next part of the path. And if you look quite simply to the right, you're going to see ourselves a water buffalo. Now, water buffalo are extremely dangerous. They've been known to eat grass. Alright, Mr. Gordon here. It's extremely dangerous, extremely important that you go really slowly, because right over here is the water buffalo. Now, quite simply, the water buffalo has been known to eat hay and eat grass, and quite simply, I'm not even sure if they don't sometimes eat an ant. Alright, Mr. Gordon here. If you look right up there, you see the water buffalo. Quite simply, if you know how to count, there's at least 3. 1, 2, 3. It's looking right at you. Now, if you move, they can see you better. So it's always best to stay completely still. Looks like right now they're just eating hay, but they might eat an ant or 2 on the way. Alright, quite simply, Mr. Gordon here. We are almost to the second magical canal. We're going to go to the left, and then we'll go down this alley. And you're going to see we're going this way. Quite simply, I'm going to try to take another video, because the boy behind me, he said some things he shouldn't have said, and he probably doesn't want his mom to hear that in the future. So anyway, here I am trying to blend in. Here's someone who looks just a little bit different, and everyone's kind of staring at me. You know, I'm going to try to walk to buy a fish. Quite simply, Mr. Gordon here, live from the next path of the canal. We're going to go this way to buy a fish. All the kids are excited. They're like, we finished another day of school. And quite simply, did you know that in Thailand school starts in May? So really they've only had like the day, but that's very happy. They got another year to go. Quite simply, Mr. Gordon here. It is as hot as a Mississippi summer. Oh my goodness. It's got to be at least 3,000 degrees with humidity. Oh, well, apparently I'm Scottish now. Alright, quite simply, now we're here at the temple. This is a temple connected to the canal. Alright. Quite simply, Mr. Gordon back here. I'm actually walking right next to Pastor Tom, but I'm not going to put him on video because I'm not quite sure if he's real or not. And I'm nervous if I put him on camera, there won't be anything here. Alright, quite simply, Mr. Gordon, here we are in the village. There's no name, We need to think of a name. Alright, and then here to the left is the floating cotton. And this is where all the kids run out and they say hello. Well, I think that's all they know how to say in English is hello, but they say hello. Alright, welcome to Mr. Gordon Gets a Fish with Pastor Tom. We are approaching the fish store. I'm not quite sure if we're actually going to get a fish. I might end up with a fish. Everybody likes fish. Just don't get the one that's like $5,000. Alright, well, quite simply, we made it to the fish store. Quite simply, Mr. Gordon, these fish are actually known to eat humans. These are very, very ferocious. Quite simply, they've been known to jump into other tanks and eat other fish. Alright, quite simply, it is a beautiful windy day. We got ourselves the clouds. We're gonna hope that it doesn't rain on us, because in Thailand, cloudy also means rainy. Alright, Mr. Gordon here, ending our adventure. The sun sets on the day, and the sun sets on our journey of new fish, because the guy wasn't there. And you cannot just take fish without paying. That's called stealing. Anyway, this is a good adventure. Sunset, signing off. For now, Mr. Gordon. Quite simply, Mr. Gordon here. The sun's setting in the sky. We did not get any fish. So quite simply, we're just going to try to get fish another day. We were so close, but yet so far away. Quite simply, we have ourselves the long, lonely trip back without a fish, because the fish is not with us. That poor little fish will live in a cup for another couple of weeks until Pastor Tom can go back and buy a fish. This is Mr. Gordon buying a fish with Pastor Tom. Adventures, getting hit by a motorcycle as I'm walking down the canal. It's an exciting, cool day. The sun sets again. Alright, quite simply, Mr. Gordon back. We are approaching the buffalo area. Now, buffalo are extremely dangerous. If you cross them once, they're okay. But if you cross them twice, they might look you right in the eye. So I'm going to walk slowly. It is told that if you talk in an Australian accent, they actually can't hear you. And you're safe to walk by. And quite simply, you can tell they're not even looking. They're not even looking at... He's looking. Quite simply, don't move. Everybody, quite simply, water buffalo are known to eat grass, so you want to be very careful, especially if you're standing on grass, which quite simply I am not, standing on concrete. These are the water buffalo. Alright, I think this is a fitting way to end. So this is Mr. Gordon signing off for this week's adventure of Mr. Gordon Buys a Fish with Pastor Tom. That never happened. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and God bless you. Do 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 do. Mr. Gordon and friends. Do 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 do. Mr. Gordon and friends. This is our signing off because we can't add music because of copyright. Do 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 do. Mr. Gordon and friends, come back again. Come back again.